Good morning everyone, today I'm sharing with you 7 tips that will change your Lightroom life forever. Let's go! Alright guys, I hope you're having an amazing day. Welcome to a new episode. Today we are on a tiny island called Camiguin Island in the Philippines, and after 4 days of traveling, of flights, of jet lag and all that, I just don't know what day it is anymore. So I decided, why don't we do something kind of chill today, and I'm going to share with you my 7 tips, secrets, whatever you want to call them, that I use all the time on Lightroom, that save me a bunch of time, that makes my life a lot easier, and hopefully will make yours too. Alright guys, welcome to the studio here on the tropical island. I think it looks pretty cool. Now I got some water because I might evaporate before the end of this video. So, tips on Lightroom, super simple. We're gonna start with number 1, and number 1 is actually all about shortcuts. If you know them, just a refresher. So when you open up Lightroom, you end up usually in your library module. To get to your library module where you see all your pictures like that, you actually just have to press G and you end up here. Now if you want to see a picture bigger, you can press space or you can press E. E is gonna make it bigger, faster, stronger. It's great, still in the library module with all the informations on the side about that image. Now, another one that's super practical, when you're in library and you want to compare 2 photos side by side, you just select 2-3 photos, let's say we compare those, and you press the button N, and it's going to show you all of them side by side, and you can just rank them whichever you prefer, and you can compare them side by side. It's absolutely awesome for calling with clients. Now, the most important thing that you do on Lightroom is obviously editing. So for editing, you don't have to go and press develop, you just hit D on your keyboard and boom, you're straight into the develop module. Now you can make your magic happen and everything will change and your photo is gonna go from 0 to hero. Now, once I'm done editing a photo, I wanna see it big, like really big on my screen. So what I do, I just hit the F button. Kinda full screen, the picture gets full screen on your screen. That's kind of obvious. Another shortcut that is one in the develop module that I really want to share with you because I just learned about it. If you do any kind of local adjustment, let's say I just put a gradient filter and I don't exactly know where I applied that gradient filter. I just press O and O reveals the area that has been masked, and that is so practical. We discovered it on the ferry yesterday to that island, and since then I'm like, wow, how did I not know that before? I really need to make a video and share those tips with others. All right, we're gonna move to tip number 2, and tip number 2 is simply about virtual copies. If you don't know what virtual copies are, they're basically virtual copies of your image. Why would you use virtual copies? It's simply because you can create a lot of different versions of that image with different presets, with different adjustments and all that. That's super practical. So let's say I want that picture to be duplicated because I want to try something different. Well, I just go here and press create virtual copy, and that's it. Now I've got a second version of that same image. It did not add anything on my disk space. It doesn't take much more space or anything. Lightroom libraries just looks at the original photo and applies a different set of settings to it. So if I want to edit it totally differently, which is totally possible here, there we go. I just change anything and the original picture is just here. Now I can take those 2 pictures and compare them side by side. It's super practical, guys. I create sometimes up to 7 or 8 virtual copies just to see which one I prefer. It saves me a bunch of time. All right, and before we move on to tip number 3, guys, I really want to thank the sponsor of the day, and the sponsor is you. Thank you so much to each and every one of you. We have 16,000 of you right now that are contributing to making this adventure possible. So every time you watch the video or you get the presets or you're coming on a workshop, this is how this adventure is possible. So thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate and I really hope you enjoyed the adventures. With that being said, let's get back to the tutorial. Now, tip number 3 is going to be very practical if you have multiple types of cameras when you're shooting. And guys, if you would think that's already very obvious, all that, just know that as the tips go further, they will go deeper into Lightroom, so stay tuned. See, on Lightroom, the beauty is you can actually add stars, you can actually add labels to your images so that you can find them easily after and store them. But did you know that here at the bottom right, there is something called filters, and that little thing here are actually a bunch of presets. So you can save actually your own filters to go through cameras super easily. Now here's an example. I've got one that says DJI Mavic Pro. I have one that says Nikon D750, Panasonic GH5. Right now, I'm gonna create a new one that's going to sort out just the Sony a7R III file. So this is how you do a preset. So you just go here, attribute or metadata, and then you're like, oh, I want that, the camera, this one, I want all the photos with that camera. So it's all of them because I shot all of them the Sony a7R III. And you go to custom filter and you do save current settings as new preset. Here you type Sony a7R III or whatever camera you have. You press create and that's it. And now I can remove that filter, and every time I just want to get back to it super quickly, I just press here and boom. Now you can do way deeper types of presets. For example, you can change, I want all the picture with the ISO speed above 3200 and that camera type, so that you can batch apply noise reduction and all that. Super practical. I use it all the time because I have a bunch of cameras I use, and when you have 2000 pictures and you just want to drone shots, that is the easiest for me. Woo! Now we're gonna get in the meat of it with number 4, guys. So we're gonna get into the editing module, and I want to show you something. So Lightroom released the profiles not too long ago. I made a specific video on that I highly encourage you to look at. I even included a free profile you can download, and all the presets that I created afterwards, I added all the profiles into it. I sent it to you guys directly, and I told you profiles are game changer if you're editing, and I will show you exactly why right now. So as you can see, this is our raw image, totally out of the camera. I'm gonna bump up a little bit the light. There we go. It's a bit crooked, so I'm going to just uncrooked it a bit, if that word even exists. And then I am going to, instead of applying some of my presets that you can see here, I am actually going to apply a profile. Now what is the difference and why is it better? It's very simple. If you're here and you go to profiles, so if I'm pressing, for example, if I'm applying the Kuala Lumpur profile, you discover that there is a slider that shows up right here, and you can increase the amount that is applied to your image. Now that is game changing, because with presets you cannot really adjust the amount. So here I can make it super strong, and on top of that, what you will discover is that all the adjustment sliders, they did not move, which means you can still edit your photo afterwards, which is really cool in my opinion. It's great. You can do whatever you want. It's like having double the range of editing, and that is perfect. Because if I were to use a preset, for example, it changes all my slider. That's way less practical, because that you can do it super quickly. All right, now there is a caveat. For example, if you were using a preset and you wanted to adjust just one slider, or if, for example, there are local adjustments built in that preset. For example, my stars preset is absolutely awesome. It's just game changing for me to edit my stars photos. It takes me 2 seconds instead of super long. So if I apply it to that image, what happens is that I have a built-in gradient filter that I apply on the sky. It makes the sky look a lot better, and this is your before after in just 2 clicks with that preset. So for example, that's something you couldn't do with the profiles, because you can't have the gradient filters and all that built into it directly that you can adjust. All right, so moving on to tip number 5, guys, and tip number 5 is about local adjustments on Lightroom. This is something I discovered not too long ago, and it's been game changing for me. For example, if you want to adjust locally a part of your image, you might use your brush tool. Let's say we want to go crazy on that image and add a ton of clarity on our cloud right here, like we are doing right now. Well, that looks cool, but what if we don't want the rest of the image except the cloud to be affected? Well, guess what, guys? This is possible, and I didn't even know until not too long ago. There is something called range mask right here, and when you click it, you can choose between color and luminance. What it does, it's going to make selective mask. So it's going to apply that to only one part of the image. So we're going to choose luminance, for example, then we're gonna hit the option button or alt, and then the range of light can be changed, and you can see, look, whoa, you can apply it to everything or just the highlights. And to me, the day I discovered that, it was absolutely incredible, because you can do that with colors also. If there was a color you want it only to apply to, you can literally select the color and you will see it being applied. And This is so practical because sometimes with the brush you go kind of large, you don't know exactly how to select. This saves your life all the time. It saves mine, and I'm sure it will save yours too when you're editing. All right, tip number 6, guys. Did you even know that on local adjustments you can apply presets or save your own presets? It's just mind-blowing. If you don't know that, I'm going to change your life one more time right now. I know I'm a bit like super extreme in those statements, but look at that. Let's say we just apply that and we want to actually have all those adjustments saved, and we're like, we really like that brush and we think it makes everything looks really cool, like the sky goes kind of crazy when you apply it. Well, now you can apply it to other images super easily by just simply clicking here where you have effect, custom, and you see a bunch of others that I created for myself, and you can press save current settings as new preset, and this is local adjustment preset. Let's call it super duper scary sky 01. I don't know, I'm just making that up for the video. You press create, and now the beauty of it is that in just one click you're going to be able to pick it back up. So let's say you're back at 0, everything is normal. Now you just go to super duper scary sky. So let's apply it one more time. Up, we're painting something on the image, and now we're like, oh, there's nothing applied. Now we just go to super duper scary sky, and boom, it is applied again. All right, I think I applied a bit too many local adjustments on that image, kind of destroyed it, but you see, you can save your own effect, and that saves you so much time, it's not even funny. And also it gives you consistency whenever you're editing images. For example, I have one which is for skin softening, and it makes it very consistent across all your images. All right, guys, tip number 7, the last one. I kept the best one for the end. If you want to try to apply any kind of noise reduction to an image or sharpening, there's this button on your keyboard, Option and Alt, that makes it a breeze. So let's say you want to add some noise reduction to that image. Well, here, let's do it together. Let's add a noise reduction of level 25. And it's gonna make everything soft. So what you want to do is you want to compensate with sharpening. So you're gonna be sharpening, for example, to 70. But now here's the trick. There is a mask for sharpening, which is right here. And when you press the Option and Alt key, you actually can select what area of the image is going to be sharpened. So what is going to be sharpened. So that's everything. And here you can select, and you can see the higher you go, the less will be selected. So for example, when you're doing noise reduction, this is the most practical thing ever, because the uniform areas can be really much softer, but edges around objects and persons actually should be sharp. And this is how you achieve that result, because if you're just sliding the masking, you don't really know where you are. So you press Option Alt, and now you can see exactly what is affected. And it's magical, it's super practical. That key also works for other areas in Lightroom. I will let you discover exactly where by yourself, because this is part of the experience. Woo! Here we go, guys. Those are my 7 tips. I think they're super helpful and help save a lot of time. So if you're into that, definitely go watch the video again, write them down and practice them then. If you don't practice, you're not gonna remember them. That is the big difference between someone who's going to progress and someone who is not going to progress. If you know all of them and have others that you really love, let me know in the comments below. If you don't mind, if you found any value in my channel and in this video, please share that video with your friends, with your family, with the community and all that. That means the world to me. This is how this community is growing. And yeah, the more in the adventures, the more fun we're having. Right now, I'm in the Philippines, I mentioned. We're gonna go to Maldives after, and India. It's going to be sick. I can't wait to share with you all those adventures of photography videos, because I decided that I'm going to take a new format on some of those tips videos. I'm gonna give you the tips, and then we're gonna go and practice them instantly together on the field. And I think that's going to be super exciting. Before I let you go, guys, I want to invite you over to Instagram. Send me a DM at Pierre Lambert with your work or some feedbacks on the video. What really helped you? What didn't help you? What did you like? And all that. Your feedbacks that you keep sending me are really helpful. Also, some of your work is really good. So please and keep inspiring me, guys. Last but not least, if you want to know how I became a photographer, because I did not always used to do that. I used to be an engineer at one point, even offshore the coast of Africa, so in totally different mentality, different settings. Well, there's a link in the description below. You can hit it. I will send you my full story. I'm just sharing it either to inspire you or just to show you that there are other paths in life and nothing is ever set in stone. You can always change, don't worry too much about it. So with that being said, guys, by now, if you haven't done it, hit that SUBCRB button, smash the notification bell. It's gonna make a huge dunk. It's going to be amazing. I can't speak anymore, so we'll see you in the next episode. Get out there, go try something different, try something new, shoot, I don't know, I'm gonna go swim, I can't speak. See you guys, bye.